Hello everyone, this is Jim from International Chemotex, and we're back with this Hasselblad that we took apart, a 500 cm. Pretty much got everything cleaned, ready to put back together. I'm going to go ahead and lubricate the mechanism, put the plate back together, get it ready for installation, and that'll probably be the end of this video, and then we'll do another one where we'll actually put the front and everything in. So, well, we get started. So, grease-wise, this is a grease I tend to use. This is a grease, I mix it myself, works fantastic. It's a moly grease with a dry moly to thicken it up, because it comes in pretty wet when I first buy it. This stuff works fantastic. I love it. I don't use a lot of it. There's, you know, I'm not going to slather this thing with grease. But if you saw me take it apart, there was almost nothing in this thing. And it was it's not a grease that I like to use. I don't like to clear light grease. I like a thicker lube. This is what they worked on the 500Cs. And don't know why they stopped on the CMs, but you know, they did. And then when I go for really thick stuff and I need it thick, this is my thicker grease. And so this goes in this little few more heavy wear areas. Alrighty, so there's actually 3 types of grease I will use, and my last grease that I have is here, and that's in a little syringe, and so it's easy to get out and put exactly where I want it. Alright, so what we're going to start with is this guy here. If you remember right, and it's almost jumped that spring. Look at that spring in there. That thing coils out. I tell you what, you uncoil that thing's going 2 places. It's going into your face, which you don't want. It's going flying across the room. And when it flies across the room, it will find a place that nobody ever looks. So, and then when you do find it, it is really tough to get that thing coiled back up. And your fingers will be raw and sore by the time you get that set back in. So we will go ahead, and first I want to do is deal with that. So here's my primary thing I want to do. So we go ahead and just put a little bit of grease. This is my normal grease. This isn't the thin stuff. Don't need much on that. And this will go, so here will go down. Spacer down, gear is going to sit on top of that. This one we want to start putting some decent grease on there. Still, not a tremendous amount. Gear touches there, so you want to put some grease back here. And be very careful about putting some on the inside. I do not want to push that spring out. And that spring coil is right there. So very, very careful with this. Go ahead and put it down. Okay. Feels nice. It's just the gear. Put some on this cam. There's a cam in there. Rubs some on the cam. Any excess falls onto the rub areas. And then you want to put a little bit on the shaft here. Put that in. What I'm going to do is put that in there. I'm going to turn this up to where it stops. So going counterclockwise, put that in the down position. When it stops there, this gear needs to go down right there. So these are not in alignment, they're off to the side. Cannot ever be in alignment. And yes, you can get them in alignment. So there, and then I want to be very careful that once again, I do not push the spring through. And everything should be connected. Looks right. Nope, moved. I come up, turn, 2 teeth, settle it back down. There. Okay, so my timing's right. I'm going to take my fingers off it. All right, I like to put a little bit of light grease on top of this spring. Air bubble. I'm trying to get some, and as you tension it, it will spread around. I just want to get some all the way down on the bottom there. I don't mind putting a little extra on this spring right here. The spring you really don't want to break. And then we're looking for this. This will hold my spring in place. And then I get the screw. Where'd it go? Here it is. Now to keep everything from coming undone. All right, so good stuff there. So I go this direction, I should be able to put tension on it, put tension on that spring, helps spread that grease around. Flip it over. So nice untension now. Okay, so what we're going to start to do is get this system put back together. And we want to do this guy in. See, there's still some of that red sealant. I think it was actually nail polish. All right, so we got that there. Go ahead and put a little bit of grease there. Spread that around. We're going to need to have this guy on the other side in. This lever. This side. And this one had almost no grease on it, which I like to put some grease on it because there's a lot of wear and tear. I've seen this whole thingy here just become flat spotted on one side because well, people didn't put grease on it. And I think it had a lot of wear on that. I mean, a lot of use on that one camera. So we want to make sure that has a bunch of yummy grease on it. And we want to go ahead and just drop that. Oops, wrong way. It's going to go that way. Drop that. Oop, no, it's not. That way. Yay. Let's make sure we get everything in correctly. Come on, there you go. So that'll go in there, and that works off this gear too. Boom, stops. So this is all interconnected. Okay, so we can get this gear, and I like to put some grease in there. Just a toothpick flattened on one edge. It's like perfect to get down there. Don't need a whole lot, just some. Okay, a little bit here, a little bit down the middle there where the shaft will go. This guy there. So it's got this little stopper and it's got this, and all this has to get in between. So yeah, it tends to get hung up. You saw me taking it out. Stupid thing just didn't want to come out. And sometimes they just fall right in. Other times I kind of battle. So this one doesn't want to go in again. I'm just going to pull that out. Come on. There. Drop that back in. Probably should have kept that gear out of there. Yeah. Yeah, I should have. Okay, so things would have went much quicker if I would have put this in before I put the gear on. Anyway, sometimes I forget about stuff. All right, so that's all set, ready for this assembly here. So this guy's gonna go onto here. A little bit of grease. Okay, goes through, front. And if you're doing this with the cutouts here, going towards this curved edge, cutouts towards the curved edge. Turn it upside down, just let it sit there. Grease here. All right, so what I'm going to do is put the gear on here. So it doesn't need a tremendous amount. Drop in. Okay. I know you can see the kicker when it's in the 0 position or the charge position. So this lever has to go here so you can actually see it. Otherwise, you couldn't release the camera manually. Okay, spring falls in. You just got to make sure. Sorry about the head. You're going to have to put a loop on sometimes to see things. There we go. Okay, so finally it's in place. Little spring goes in behind, make sure it gets in. All right, there is a pin that goes in. So you can't get this 180. If you get it 180 degrees out, it will not work. Let me do it this way. Come on. Did I move this? It should be right about there. There it is. I still like to put a little bit of grease just about anywhere metal touches metal. Just in case this ring starts to, for some reason, move. Still don't want metal to be unlubricated. Okay, there's a spacer. Oh, there it is. Okay. So that's that system put together. Put it in here. That guy. Okay. So I'll just go there to there. We can put this all together. So that's the front. That means it's charged. So this guy has to sit in that direction. Put the screw in. Okay. Put that back to the start there. All right. This gear here can go in. The gear here's got the scribe mark on it, so I'll look for the scribe. Make sure this is at the 0 position. I hit the 0 position. Don't know how well you can see this, but right there, there's a tip. My mentor always called that a nose. So nose needs to be all the way back against a little stop down here. Boom. Be against the stop. Doesn't matter if this housing moves or whatever. Well, it does a little bit actually. But it just needs to come against the stop. Once it's against the stop, then I know this gear is going to be somewhere to this effect, pointing down, and I can just kind of put the gear somewhere where I think it's going to be best. And then kind of I'm rotating it slightly. It's hitting one more tooth there. Somewhere in there. Is it exact? Probably not. It might be off a tooth. So anyway, I hold it. Put some grease down in there first. Let's get up here. Keeping them pinched together. There's your plate. You just put it between the two gears, the gear and the plate, sorry. Gear and the plate, line it up, which can sometimes be a big pain. And a little bit difficult. Did I get it? Is it right there? Yeah. Right there. Screw down in it. And up, do my last check. Yeah, it's about where I want it to be. We got just a bit of cotton bud fluff in there when it hits the stop. So we're good on that. One screw is in. Let's get the other ones at least started and just kind of like leave it there. I don't have to do any adjustment with it yet. Stupid little piece of fluff. Okay. All right, so we got this all set. Let's go over here. Put a little bit of grease in this little slot right here. Your spring's gonna go there. Put a bit there and along here where the spring rubs on the other side. That's this guy here. Put her down, get the E-ring on there. And I may have to use my loop because I really can't see this very well. Yeah. Sorry about the head. You guys can see the top of my head. Okay, it's on. Come on. All right. I'm sorry, I know my fingers are a lot in the way, but just trying to get this spring in there. It goes from there, hooks around here, hooks around, and then connects on that side, so this guy will go up and down. So, let's wind this guy up a little bit. always like to do this, make sure nothing's gone in wrong. It starts to bind. Everything's moving. Nope. Release, boom. It's there. Up, down. This guy's wobbling. Releasing your transport in there too. So yeah, everything's going good. Nice, fast. Okay, so last thing we want to do is put this guy on. A little bit against here. A little bit against here. And where it rubs. Why people don't put grease on areas that rub, I just do not get it. He's going to sit out there. And there we go. That's pretty much it. You watch me grease everything up, but you don't have a ton of grease hanging everywhere. Little grease line there, little grease line there. Other thing I want to do before I button this thing up is just some red grease, very thin. I'll put a drop of, a couple drops in there. Just those are just half drops, so I didn't put a lot in. A little bit there. Put a little there for. That's it. That's pretty much it for my grease. Alrighty, that's pretty much it for this section. You know what? Let's just do this. I think we got a few minutes. Let me check running time real quick. Yep, I think we're going to end right here. We're at 22 minutes. So thank you very much for watching. Ask any questions, no problem. I'll go ahead and answer them. Give me feedback. Love you to subscribe. Thank you very much. Take care. Bye-bye.